Hey everyone, it's technology expert Burton Kelso here with another tech tip to help you get the most out of the technology in your life. Today we're going to talk about gaming consoles and online predators. You may not think that the two mix, but they do. Many predators search for kids on gaming consoles because of some of the interactive and chatting features that are on these systems. Many parents think that games are safe because the kid is just mainly playing games with their friends online, but when you play online, that can definitely open you up to online predators. The average gamer is age 35. Do you really want your kids interacting with people that old that are playing games? A 35-year-old normally may not be harmful, but if you've got an online predator out there, that definitely changes the game. We're going to switch screens here. I'm going to show you what tips that you can do in order to help keep your kids safe while they're playing that console game. So the popular gaming systems right now are PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the ever popular Nintendo Switch, which my boys Christian and Caleb currently have. The challenges with all of these systems are not the systems themselves, but the games that are included in those systems. A lot of video games have chatting features built into them. So if you're allowing your kids to play games such as Call of Duty, Battlefield, or Battlefront, they can play online and they definitely can strike up a conversation with the stranger, or a stranger can reach out and strike up a conversation with your kid. And that's not good. So what can you do? Well, let's understand what's happening online first. So you got to understand that there's about 500,000 sexual predators online every day. And normally the kids that are exploited are between the ages of 12 to 15 years old. And usually that's the age when parents really start to loosen up. Your kids have been playing games for a while. They want to play the latest Battlefront or online game. So you relent and they start playing. Well, the problem is that there be predators out there and you don't want your kids to interact with them. So how do predators target children? Well, it's pretty simple. They usually make contact through chat rooms and instant messaging services, which are all online. And obviously they look in areas where kids go. They look for kids that are in that age range. They also look for they use child-oriented usernames. Or they also will look for kids with child-oriented usernames, and they tend to go where kids are doing their latest hobbies. And right now, latest hobby is video games, and it's the online interaction of playing with kids across the world, or so your kid may think, and that's what predators want your kids to think. So what can happen is that the more risky behaviors that your child takes, the more it puts them at risk. So one of the two top things that can occur, and I'll highlight that with the mouse, is 80% of kids, 86%, chat online without their parents' knowledge. And yes, that can happen if your child is online, playing an online game. And if a stranger reaches out, 60% of kids will respond because that's kind of the kid thing to do. Someone says hi, you say hi back. But that's not always the right thing to do. And you've got to teach your kids that. So moving on, predators, how do they engage? They strike up a conversation, pretend to have a common interest. They become confident, so they may interact with your child on a normal basis. And so their whole idea is to gain their trust so they can exploit your child. Now, the types of predators you can normally find online are sex offenders who want to have an online or physical relationship with your child. Then there's sextortioners, which allows, or that you've got the predator that's trying to get your kid to send explicit pictures. Maybe they'll get one and extort them to send out more photos just for the simple fact of collecting them. And then finally, you just have plain old pornographers who don't really want to meet children offline. They just want to collect photos. and they probably don't even see a problem with it. So that's what you have to go up against. So how do you know if your child's been contacted? Well, if they're spending a little bit too much time online, that's kind of obvious. Also, if they're using secret email or social media accounts. Now, the challenge with most gaming systems is that you do have a chat feature built into the online operating system of your gaming system. So if Predator is just looking for usernames and your kid has put their username out there for the world to see, online Predator can just reach out to them and start a conversation. So you need to be aware that those gaming consoles do have an email feature as well, where they can interact with friends and they can interact with strangers too. So you need to check that out. If they start receiving text or calls or gifts from people you don't know, they're closing the TV or closing their screen and having porn on their computer, and parents, believe it or not, kids can surf the internet on those gaming systems. Most popular gaming systems do have a web browser in it. It's not Safari and it ain't uh, Edge, but it is a browser that will allow most kids to browse in the internet and use it like they were sitting in front of a computer. I know I've visited websites on a console and actually have streamed video from the browser built into a PlayStation. So the Xbox has a browser, so does the Switch, and it's very easy for kids to type in the stuff that you may have blocked on their smartphone and on their tablet and start looking for that on their console. So while you think that they're playing games, they could be looking at smut online through their gaming system. So, what can you do? And that's a complicated question because with a lot of these gaming systems, you don't have, you have some parental controls, but you don't. So you have to really step up and do your homework. And I'll show you what you need to do. So the first thing you need to do is you got to understand that your kid just doesn't have any clue what they are doing. Their brains aren't fully developed. So you've got to do the thinking for them. And that's making sure that they have stranger danger and just checking their gaming console systems and seeing where they're going, because they're just reacting to whatever is going on. As a parent, you have to react and stay proactive and make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Next is set up parental controls. And that in itself is a challenge because it's not like you can go out and buy parental control software for a console system. Now, most console systems do have somewhat of parental controls built into them. You can turn off certain features or certain games that, as far as the rating is concerned, you can turn off. But one of the best things you can do as far as parental controls is just watch out what type of games you're purchasing for your kids. If it allows any online interaction, then you definitely want to steer away from those games until they're older and mature. And pay attention to the rating system on video games because they're there for a reason. For mature means M for mature, just not some label they stuck on the game. It actually means that your young child should not be playing a game geared for an adult. And just look for kid-friendly games that have no online interaction. I mean, that would probably be the best thing. And be sure to research for the parental controls in your system. If you don't know, ask an expert. I happen to know a guy that could probably help you with something like that. And then finally, be sure to have the cyber safety talk with your kids, not only with their smart devices, but with their video game consoles too. Make sure that they're aware that they're not to interact with any strangers or to go to do any chatting online unless you allow them to play with their friends. And make sure that they're not sharing out any personal information, such as address and phone number, because some consoles, in order to register, will ask for that information. A Predator could pretend that they're a representative from Microsoft, who makes the Xbox, or Sony, who makes the PlayStation, or even a Nintendo, who makes the Switch, and just ask for personal information. So make sure that under no circumstances that your kids are handing out that personal information, because obviously a predator can take that information and exploit it and use it to exploit or groom your child. So have the talk, make sure it extends to all devices that connect to the internet. hopefully this has given you a little clue as what you can do as far as keeping your kids safe online. Many times parents focus on smartphones and tablets, but the video game console is a gateway to your kids. So I hope this tech tip, I hope you enjoyed this tech tip. And if you've got comments or questions about this tip, leave them in the comments section below. And I'd love to hear from you. So if you have things that you would like me to cover in future videos, be sure to leave those in the comments section as well. Or just say hi. So subscribe to my YouTube channel at Burton Kelso or my company Integral. There's videos there that are designed to help you get more from the technology that you use every day. And follow us and me on social media. I'm always sharing awesome tips that are designed to help you get more from the technology in your life. Hey, I'm the guy that's read all the manuals. I love technology, and I want to make technology fun and exciting for you. So, as always, take care of yourself and do many things to make you smile. And thanks for watching.